Wee wee ha 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 wee wee ha 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 wee wee ha 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 wee ha ha wee ha ha. Welcome back to the channel, guys, and welcome to the French. What did we call this? The M4A1 FL10. Let's call it that. Fun fact, I've been trying to make... Yeah, Guppy, she's banging around up there. I don't know if you can hear it. Fun fact, I've been trying to make a custom skin for this tank, and it's really cool. It's a French flag motif with, like, follow me and to the front, and the arrows are pointing, like, to the rear. Get it? Huh? Huh? And, I got the files from the asset viewer, but in the asset viewer, they're labeled AMX M4. Right? And it's clearly this tank, looking at the models. But I can't seem to get the files set up properly to work in a custom camo. So I'll need some help on that. I posted it on the forums. I'll see what I get out of that. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, how cool would it be to have a sweet French flag motif camo for this tank that clearly indicates that the front is behind you. But moving on. This thing is an absolutely stellar tank. Performance-wise, it works exactly like you would expect the FL-10 turret to work on an M4 chassis. That being, the armor is useless, or so you would assume. Turns out the turret armor on this can be a little bit complex. I actually bounce a few shots or soak them with this tank in this match. And the gun performs fantastically, but handles like a chihuahua's backside. It's just all over the place, and it doesn't go where you want it to. And if things get nervous, it's just gonna piddle all over the carpet. But you're able to piddle with a maximum amount of efficiency because of your very quick auto loader that has a capacity for 12 rounds. More than enough to get you into and out of quite a few sticky situations. And with that, let's skip out of cinematic mode and cut straight to the action in arcade, because that's where I can find a match. And we're gonna do fairly well in this match. So, cheers. Double ace. I say right to the action, then I make you wait. I gotta feed the baby.
Hello, guppies. You want some memes? Have a little meme there, guppies. There you go.
She's eating the little baby Cheetos. They're like this transition food. Anyway, what was I saying? Right! Roll that beautiful tank footage. We're cutting straight to the action. Here we are capturing the point, and I usually go for this one on, what is this map, Kuban, I think? The one that used to have the ships. How cool was it that it had those ships along the shore, and then if you got all the way to the area of the enemy spawn, you could machine gun those landing craft? Man, that was cool. You know, I really missed those little extra features that you could actually harvest for points. But even more importantly, it made you feel like it's not just a tank battle. I think that some immersion was definitely lost, and some of the sense of adventure, you know what I mean, was lost when they started taking out all the AI. Even the static targets like artillery and stuff like that. I missed those, but that's not the meta of the game right now. We soak a shot into the turret from a Panzer IV, which is rather surprising, but the turret armor on this tank is complex, and it looks like he hit us in the chin, which would mean it would have to go through 2 angled 40mm plates, which maybe that was enough to save us. Or maybe we can count on ping bias, because my internet was doing really terribly right now, and at this point I'm at like a 300 ping. So you're going to probably see that in this video. I do fix it later on, so my other gameplay I'm going to show you today is not going to have that issue. So maybe that's a point for comparison. But we decide that that spot's a little too hot. We're getting noticed by Senpai a little more than we want to. And so we pop smoke and move on. And because this is arcade, we're watching our smoke regenerate rather rapidly. We see another rival around the corner, and we're already being engaged, so It's time to defend ourselves. He takes a shot, and I have no idea where that went. But we line up the gun very awkwardly, and it just doesn't want to get onto target there. It could be the limited elevation of the gun, or it could be a bug. I'm not sure. But we pump one into him and take out most of his crew. Second one finishes him off. So the rival has been eliminated. Moving on down the beach. We get a good shot into that Stug, and he could easily take us out with one hit if he was aiming at us. And you can see just the lag we're experiencing here between action and reaction from the server. But we put our third shot into him, take out the final crew member, and you can see that the post-pen effects of these armor-piercing rounds can be spectacular, but in a limited scope. So this would make a good long-range sniper facing enemies from the front or the rear. Side shots are going to be problematic because you're not going to get that spalling cascade effect. Oh man, just like that, right? Didn't you see that? Through the ammo racks, into the engine, blows up everything in the tank. Very satisfying. So what's that, our third kill? But we're moving on down the beach, and look at that. That's exactly what I was telling you. From a decent range for arcade, and oh my gosh, I can't even stop to talk about what's happening. This gun reloads so fast, and we're just wrecking everything around us. And we're like Jean-Claude Van Damme when he enters a room, you know, he just starts sweep kicking everybody and asking questions later. And he asks questions in like really broken French, and you just kind of get the impression that he's this buff bod jerk guy that studies martial arts instead of how to be nice to people. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. I'm kicking sand in the face of all these nerds. Alright, another shot plows through that Sherman, blows up everything in the tank. Very satisfying. And another one into a Panzer. It's either an early Panzer IV or Panzer III with a short barrel. Doesn't matter. We pick up a double kill at the same time. We're sweeping the beach, guys. We are a maid service now. We are picking up the trash. And now you are about to witness some aggressive, dominant behavior. I've gotten so confident now. If I have a match like this, I push it as hard as I can. I just get super aggressive because it's YouTube time, right? Already, I've got enough kills and I've had enough success for this to qualify as one of those videos that I post as a bragamony of how good the tank can be. And speaking of bragamony, have you seen how cute my daughter is? No, you haven't, but she's super adorable. And she's in the living room now playing with like this mega toy that we got her that she used to stand in. Oh, and we pick up an assist. And we used to plunk her in this toy, and it's got this little seat for her, and then she's surrounded by all these things that rattle and shake, and I have no idea where that shot went. And KV-1s, I've noticed after this update, their armor seems to be even tougher. Angled armor seems to be more effective than it used to. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just the guns I've been using, but we pump a couple shots into him, and like a good KV-1, he takes a hit and keeps on rolling, but we immobilized him and just wore him down with our superior forward firepower. And, oh man, unfortunately that T-34 takes one on the chin hard. And you see oh my gosh, I can't even talk about my kills. I just rack it up more. You can see the amazing effect of the spalling from those AP rounds, and I fully support that. I feel like this was an adjustment that needed to be made to AP for quite some time, and then we saw it on the higher caliber AP guns. It seems like they always adjust ammunition to favor the tanks that are being introduced into the game. You know, honestly, I don't think that's really a dishonest thing that they're doing. It's just that there's so many things that need to be adjusted every time you add something to the game that it just makes sense to adjust the newest things that you're adding before you start working on the old stuff or focusing entirely on it, because everybody's going to be playing the new stuff, right? So the popular kids get all the love. Daddy doesn't have time for you, middle stepchild. Oh man, and we take one on the side, and you saw that one bounce harmlessly off the gun mantlet of the KV, very strong. And this is where our tank sees its end. All in all, 12 kills, and I only brought one tank to this arcade match. Yes, I am that guy. But I've been able to contribute enough to this battle, so we're on to the next. And in this one, you're going to see me perform what I would call a more reasonable strategy. This is one you can actually get consistent results with. What I was doing before is just kind of crazy and wild and hyper aggressive, and this is more my optimal playstyle that you're about to see. We're going to play somewhat defensively. We're always going to rush cap. The first thing I do in every match is rush to the furthest cap that I can reasonably reach before the enemy. So if I'm in a slow tank, it's going to be the closest cap. But if I'm in a reasonably fast tank, and by the way, this M4 has a fantastic horsepower to weight ratio, and I think they gave it an updated transmission. The thing moves forward quite rapidly. Reverse gear, not the best, but look at the amount. I mean, this is arcade, but we can do some straight up, like, you know, Duke Boys stuff here. Them Duke Boys peeked around the corner. Things got real messy. How's that gonna turn out for our boys? Find out after the break, right? And then you watch a Dove commercial. But did any of that make sense? Don't worry about it. We got the point. And even more importantly, we have intimidated the enemy. We pop around the corner, bam! Just wipe out a tank with one shot. And then kaboom! We get another one into that Soviet KV, looked like a 1S. And then we get out of there because we're not a tanky tank here. Oh, hold on a second. Baby time. And we're back. She's got a bottle and a new diaper. And we're coming around the corner here. Again, we're being aggressive, but we're being more reasonable with this one. Pop around. And this was a really bad approach. So I'm glad that my teammate took out that T-34 before I came around the corner. And now we're getting support from our team, which is awesome. See, we haven't extended too far, but we are pushing here. I said it'd be more reasonable, but I'm being a little aggressive. So we slide ourselves around that corner and take out that. That's got to be an AI, right? Sometimes, if somebody drops out of a match when the match is forming, they get replaced by an AI. So that's probably what happened there. I just can't see someone using it. What's that, a Panzerjäger? But oh hey, look, another FL-10. He looks pretty cool with this. What's that, a tricolor? I can't tell very well from this angle. Camo. Pay 2 camo. And take a shot into that KV. Good one. Punches through its stellinium-filled fuel tank and takes out some of the crew. Now we're popping rounds into that smoke screen, trying to get some hits on target. I have no idea where this guy is, but one of our random shots took out the engine and track and set a fire to that Panzer IV, so good stuff. And you can see, just you can use this cannon as suppressive fire when you're working in a group. There's so many tactics. This is the consummate medium tank. This is probably the most meta mid-tier medium tank in the game. And in my humble opinion, this is the definition of what a medium tank should be capable of. The very top performance medium tank. Armor that you don't rely on, but is able to protect you from things like SPAA. A gun that is very reliable and capable of sustained fire suppression, or taking out large groups of enemies if they're not focusing on you. Are you starting to see the meta here, you know, where the heavy tank is taking the hits? Like a Sherman Jumbo, perhaps? At the same battle rating. It's almost as though our friends in Russia, who are developing this beautiful game, knew that there'd be this lovely relationship between the French tanks, and you would have this Sherman Jumbo at the same battle rating as your buddy, the combat medic. It's like, hurry, and medic! What am I doing? Anyway, they're great support for each other, right? So the FL-10 and a Jumbo, I would love to squad up and just rock the Casbah with these two tanks. But maybe that's a dream for another day. You know, I do end up in one of these matches chumming with the Jumbo, and oh my gosh, you see that bomb line in front of me? But don't worry about it. It's a little too far ahead, and this is arcade, so it's got a huge timer. And another shot just patings off of that KV-1 turret, and we actually managed to bounce a shot. Now the KV-1 at this range, that looks like a KV-1S, so it's rocking the standard, what's that, 75, 76 mil, relatively short cannon. So he gets probably around 75 mils of pen. So angling that armor was just enough to let it bounce off of us without wiping us out. We're repairing up, replacing a crew member because we can. And we're taking this moment, this pause in the action, to restore our tank to fighting condition. And now that we're at full capacity and crew replenishment is a pretty cool thing they added to the game a while back. This is, it's not news to any of you guys. So once again, surprising no one, we put a shot into that Stug from the front, and because of the great amount of spalling and the significant damage the Stug had already taken, we're able to wipe him out with one round. We got plenty left in the magazine, or the clipazine. And in case you guys were wondering, there's this gun terminology, right? I'm a homebrew gun expert, according to myself. And if you want to know whether it's clip or magazine, well, you don't have to guess. Shoot that track on the jumbo. Yeah, take that, buddy. You don't have to guess. Just call it a clipazine. You'll be right every time. 50% of the time, works every time. Where was I? We're getting good team support here. We're playing a little bit more reasonably, and we've been able to pick up kills. We've been able to pick up assists. We've been able to capture a point. We're playing the objective. We're supporting our guys. We're paying more attention to the map. We're not going down the same attack route. We were doing things wrong in that last match. It's just that things went really right for us. Maybe a mix between ping and just good effect of that gun. You see, this tank could not perform the way it does without the amazing autoloader that it has. That really defines this tank, and it sets it into a role that gives it a great opportunity to perform. And you want to adjust your tactics, even as the Israelis did when they received Sherman tanks in an age where the Sherman chassis was becoming obsolete, but still functional, because you could put powerful guns in it. They adopted a strategy of mobility and supporting fire. And speaking of it, as we crash our key, whatever it is, Japanese, it's the only way to land a Japanese plane in arcade, right? You gotta. What was I talking about? Kind of lost my train of thought there. Anyway, we're continuing to have a great time in the FL-10. This is a match where, oh, hey, cool, we picked up an assist. Where we're doing pretty well, second place in the team. In arcade, that's pretty good. I usually don't place that high in arcade. And I'm a little rusty on my arcade, but, you start picking things up pretty quickly. You do have to employ some tactics at this level in arcade matches, especially considering that it's likely that right now there are more experienced players at this rank, because they'll be unlocking French tanks in arcade. Best way to grind in any event. As we land our Russian fighter, the way Stalin told us to. And second place of the team, 2 base caps, 5 kills, 6 assists. That's going to be some good rewards down the line. And sorry I didn't show you guys the reward screen for that last match, but it was good. And in this one, you see we get plenty of RP. Just a full coat of medals. I can look like a real French officer. And that's the match. So, to sum things up, do I like the M4FL10? Absolutely. Is it overpowered? It depends upon how you define the role of a medium tank. If you define this tank solely by its firepower, it sits at the very top. Its ability to lay down sustained fire, to engage multiple targets in a short amount of time, it performs well in a target-rich environment. However, the weakness of this tank, and the weakness of, it seems, most of the French oscillating turret designs, is unreliable armor. Even on the up-armored versions, there's places in your armor that are gonna be weak because of the oscillating turret design, and it's my suspicion that players will quickly adapt to these new tanks being added into the game. Your strategy doesn't really have to change much. You just want to focus your fire on the fast-firing tanks, these French autoloaders. You want to learn the weaknesses of the oscillating turret design. They couldn't put a huge amount of armor on these turrets like you see with, you know, these massive, bulky Russian gun mantlets and things like the Sherman Jumbo's, you know, brick house that he puts in between his barrel and the enemy. But the oscillating turret design, the more armor you put on it, the heavier it gets. And eventually that's just too much for the tank to handle. It's just not reasonable. So it looks like the French designers went with a sloped armor and a sort of a complex armor design with that collar armor to support things. But the upper face of the turret is always going to be a weak spot. So that's something you can take advantage of. And you know, you don't have to talk about armor weak spots when you're talking about the M4A1 chassis, because every place on this tank can be penetrated, from things like the Panzer IV-F2 upwards. Anything that has the German long 75 and Russians, you know where to aim to take out an M4A1. I don't have to tell you. And it's gonna be that you use your gun, use mobility, even get some support from your teammates. This tank would be great following a big ol' heavy. Anyway guys, I had a blast with this one. Enjoy the rest of your day and Merry Christmas. Bye bye.